everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about something you see almost every day, but probably don't think much about. Clouds. They look so light and fluffy, like giant cotton balls drifting across the sky. You might imagine you could just jump into one and bounce around. But what if I told you that a single, average-sized cloud could weigh more than 100 elephants? I know, it sounds completely bonkers, right? How can something so massive just hang out up there, floating so effortlessly? Well, stick around, because we're about to dive deep into the incredible science of clouds. And the answer is going to blow your mind. So, let's get right to the big question. How much does a cloud actually weigh? To figure this out, scientists first need to know the cloud's water density. For a typical cumulus cloud, those puffy white ones you see on a sunny day, the water density is about 0.5 gram per cubic meter. Now, that doesn't sound like much. 0.5 gram is like the weight of a small raisin. But here's where it gets interesting. Clouds are enormous. An average cumulus cloud can be about 1 kilometer long, 1 kilometer wide, and 1 kilometer tall. That's 1 billion cubic meters. So, if we do the math, 0.5 gram of water for every one of those billion cubic meters, we end up with a staggering 500 million grams of water. That's 500,000 kilograms, or about 1.1 million pounds. Let me say that again. 1,100,000 pounds. That's the weight of a fully loaded jumbo jet, or, as I mentioned earlier, a herd of about 100 full-grown elephants. And that's just for an average, everyday cloud. Storm clouds, like cumulonimbus clouds, are much denser and much, much larger. So their weight can be astronomically higher, sometimes weighing as much as hundreds of jumbo jets combined. It's absolutely wild to think about that much weight just floating above our heads. This brings us to the next logical question. If clouds are so incredibly heavy, why don't they just fall out of the sky? Why don't we get crushed by a 1,000,000-pound water bomb every time a cloud passes overhead? The secret lies in a few key factors. First, the weight isn't concentrated in one spot. It's spread out over a massive area. Remember that 1.1 million pounds is distributed throughout 1 billion cubic meters of space. The water in a cloud exists as billions upon billions of tiny, tiny water droplets, or ice crystals, each one so small and lightweight that they are easily suspended in the air. We're talking about droplets that are about 1 million times smaller than a raindrop. The second reason is warm air. As the sun heats the Earth's surface, it also heats the air near the ground. This warm air rises because it's less dense than the cooler air above it. This process is called convection. Clouds form within these rising currents of warm, moist air. The upward force of this rising air, called an updraft, is strong enough to counteract the force of gravity pulling down on the tiny water droplets. It's like a constant battle between the updraft pushing the droplets up and gravity pulling them down. As long as the updraft is strong enough, the droplets stay suspended, and the cloud continues to float. You can think of it like dust motes you see dancing in a sunbeam. They technically falling, but the tiny air currents in the room keep them afloat. The same principle applies to clouds, just on a much grander scale. So, what happens when it rains? Rain is essentially what happens when a cloud can no longer support its own weight. Inside the cloud, those tiny water droplets are constantly bumping into each other. Through a process called coalescence, they start to merge and grow larger. They collide, stick together, and become bigger and bigger. Eventually, these droplets become so large and heavy that the updrafts of warm air can no longer hold them up. Gravity finally wins the battle. At that point, they fall out of the cloud as raindrops. In colder clouds, a similar process happens with ice crystals, which grow until they are heavy enough to fall as snow or hail. So, in a way, clouds do fall out of the sky, just very slowly, and in the form of rain or snow. Isn't that just incredible? Something that looks so ethereal and weightless is actually a colossal, heavyweight champion of the sky, governed by a delicate balance of physics. It really changes how you look at the world, doesn't it? The next time you're outside on a beautiful day, look up at those puffy white clouds. Don't just see them as simple fluff, see them for what they are, million-pound marvels of nature, a testament to the powerful forces of convection and gravity holding tons of water high above the earth. It's a humbling reminder that there's extraordinary science happening all around us, even in the most seemingly ordinary things. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you found this as fascinating as I did, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want more videos that uncover the amazing science behind our everyday world, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Got any other mind-blowing science facts you want me to cover? Drop them in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.